Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Trainer Feed. My name is Jacques Delagere. I'm joined by David Bravo
Hello.
and Angel Sanchez. What's going on,
Year.
everybody? Oh, my bad. Come on. How you guys feeling? You good?
Chilling, man. Everything's good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. So today, I want to talk a bit about meal prep, specifically about three factors that you need to own and that are important to you so that it's going to vary by person. But if you guys are meal prepping, what are three things you have to own, you have to be accountable for?
Wait, why don't you start? So that
Okay,
way we
I'll
can get the
start.
framework
Sure.
and the examples.
So first thing is you need a Tupperware. If you don't have a Tupperware, it's not happening. Okay. So I don't know why that's funny, but okay.
No, because it's like, what are three things you need to cook? And it's like, first
Someone's
of
like,
all,
a
stove.
spatula, a stove. Yeah, because if you don't have
got the stove, you're not cooking anything. No,
well,
that's why I thought it
yeah,
was just
no,
kind of
that's a
funny.
good point. But I just think the Tupperware is a number one.
That's
because you can when you talk about smart habits, you need to have the Tupperware for it to happen. Because if you're saying, oh, I was gonna meal prep, but I just don't have Tupperware, so no, set yourself up. Number two, you have to give yourself, if you, let's say we're doing this for half a dozen to a dozen meals for a week, and you need to give yourself at least between an hour and 2 hour window to cook. All we need is at least one of those. All right. I think that's plenty to cook all the meals if you do the same thing, for example, or roughly the same thing. The third thing is it's not so much tangible, but it's more about realism. If you're starting in a place where you don't meal prep at all, going from 0 to 100 is not realistic. It's not impossible, but long term is not typically sustainable. So if you're meal prepping a couple meals a week, okay, for the next week you're gonna own prepping between 2 and 5 meals, and just gradually own that. So those are very different examples, but when I think of meal prep, those are the three things I think about. So with that in mind, what would you guys have as your three accountable factors for meal prepping?
First of all, you need a refrigerator.
That's assuming you're in the gulag and you don't have one, but
no, it's right. If you ain't got technically, forget the Tupperware. If you ain't got no refrigerator, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah,
you ain't prepping nothing. You're prepping the Last Supper because that's the last time you're gonna see that thing looking the same way.
You need some seasonings.
You're right. Listen, you're not wrong. Preach, David.
Some
preach.
Of that adobo.
Tell him about the seasoning.
Some of that adobo. Some of that Old Bay.
Old Bay. Different than Old Spice, y'all. Don't get it confused.
None of that. Only a little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper. No. Put a teaspoon of that.
Well, I think that's important because David's talking to a larger point about making food that you feel comfortable with eating. Because
you're gonna eat.
Right, because going to Jacques' point about being realistic, sometimes people aren't necessarily realistic, or they are realistic with the quantity or the times that they can do it, but they're not realistic with the recipes. And then they fail because they end up making food that they don't really like to eat. And then they eat that food, they reheat it, and they're just like, wow, this tastes like garbage. So David does have a point there with the seasonings, because if you make whatever you're going to make, chuletas, arroz con habichuela, whatever.
Potato salad with raisins, John.
The potato salad.
Why do I eat
that? Yeah. Oh my God, the raisins. When I heard about that, my head blew up. I was like, raisins?
What is that about the raisins? What are you talking about?
No. Because then you're gonna do it, and then we can't tell you. It's like
Jacques, you're already eating mold, bro. We can't tell you.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like we have to keep it away from you, because if you find out, then you're going to do it. And then it's going to be like, oh, God, this is terrible. I'm going to show up to the club and I'm going to see you with the Tupperware. Boop. I see the raisins and I'm going to know.
Made my raisins.
But not. So, yeah, making food that's good for you. The food that you like to eat, that you enjoy eating, as opposed to just starting out with foods that you think should be better for you, right? Like everybody's got some sort of scale in their brain where they say, oh, this is good, this is bad. But have foods that you're going to eat, right? That you like to eat. and make it something that you're going to enjoy eating again later on, as opposed to just getting bored with it. But go ahead, David. I didn't want to cut you off.
Some seasonings. Number one. Okay. Number two, an open mind. Because there's gonna be a time where you're gonna be bored as fuck to eat the same shit over and over again. Whether it's broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, and chicken and rice. You know, change it up into maybe quinoa, maybe a little bit of bok choy. You know, maybe a little bit of I don't know, kale. You know, a little bit of sautéed kale with some olive oil. All these things to keep it fresh, because you don't want to always be eating the same things, unless you are a creature of habit and that is just everything you want. Like I know people that just eat the same thing every single day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they're okay with it.
Yeah, it's me too. I could do that.
Yeah, and they're okay with that. So it all depends on your preference. And then the third one, what would I say? Third one would be a calendar, like a calendar or a schedule of it, where you don't have to make your breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a Sunday for the whole week. You can maybe start off with your lunch, and then later on you can start adding the lunch, the dinner, and the breakfast at some point, and have that in your calendar saying this day on Mondays I'm gonna be eating chicken, sweet potato, and quinoa, and then on on Tuesday, Thursdays, I'm gonna eat fish, spinach, and whatever, rice. You know, have it all scheduled out like that, so it won't be super repetitive. That's about it.
Cool. I like those. Awesome. Seasoning an open mind is huge as well, I think, because, and you also spoke about the calendar. You know, we mentioned this preconception of the timing of it. Sometimes it's just a matter of consuming those calories in the day. It's not about, oh, you missed that 1.5 hour to 2 hour window. If you still eat that amount of calories and nutrients in the day, you're not any worse for it. You know, you might feel hungry if you wait longer than 2 hours, but
yeah, I think I don't know if I could make 3 unique choices after what you guys said, because I agree.
It doesn't have to be unique, as long as it's the 3 that would be important to you. It doesn't have to be different to what we've said.
I mean, the thing that I do is I just like to make things efficient. Like, I don't want to spend too much time doing too much for, you know, I don't want to cook for like 3 hours to eat for 15 minutes. Some people do that, and that's cool, but like, you know, I'm one that wants to do it in a certain amount of time, do what I got to do, and just call it a day. So, you know, having the recipes down packed, the things that I want to eat, and then just rinse, wash, repeat, and just having that on a cycle. So I know what day I'm going to make certain foods. I know how long it's going to take roughly to make that food, and then how much time it's just going to take, and then how many meals, because I'm not only cooking for myself, cooking for my partner. So I got to be able to have that on a schedule as well. We have to have enough Tupperware. She tends to break the glasses pretty frequently. So make sure that we have enough. And then also have just options, because one thing we don't like to do is just be hungry, because when you're hungry, you tend to make decisions that are not as favorable as they might have been if you had eaten before. So we just try to have everything so that we're good to go. And I'm in charge right now of just like making sure that everybody eats and everybody stays sane. So yeah, making sure it's efficient, making sure that it's something that is relatively easy, and just doing what you gotta do. Make sure you have the resources. Like, I got like everything on a schedule. So like, I know what I'm gonna pick up, I know when I'm gonna pick it up, I know when I'm gonna have it in my apartment, I know when to cook it, I know where to put it away, and I know exactly what to do. So the chances of failure are relatively low, unless the store is sold out of something, or unless I get robbed with all of my groceries in hand, which may happen. Both of these things may actually, the first one did happen in the beginning of the pandemic, right? Went to that store and you were just like, damn, where's the salmon at? Where's the
Nothing.
codfish at? And you went home. You went there with high hopes, and you came back with chicken nuggets from McDonald's
And beans.
and beans and a can of beans.
I really like the fact that you spoke of almost having an internal clock with the preparation. You know, if you have 2 or 3 meals left, all right, I should go grocery shopping today or tomorrow, because come 2 days from now, I don't have anything. It's not going to be, and I'm almost too far over the edge where I have to make sure I always have more than enough, just because I don't want to be, just because it's the practicality of having food in your fridge, the practicality of, oh, tomorrow I'm all over the shop, I'm all over the city. But because I have 2, 3 said meals in my fridge, if I'm near a microwave, or worst case scenario, I'll eat it cold. But you have the meals with you on you. It's not a case of where's the nearest Sweetgreens, where's the nearest Chipotle, whatever it is. You have it on you. You're not spending that time queuing. Let's spend time waiting to get it, to go to that grocery store, to go to that food store, wherever it is. You've got it on you, and that's one reason why I love having, more so now. I feel than maybe 2 years ago. I feel as though, as opposed to just being on the west side, I'm a bit more all over the place, and being able to come home for an hour and to walk him and then eat. The fact that it's there, it's not time having to go and get it. And that's kind of what you're talking about. I just make sure it's on me or on you, as you said, or on you, David, or whatever, just to make sure you have it. It's not, and if you're going to run out of it, then we're all adults. We're in charge of making sure we have surplus, or we go and replenish it. When it comes to cooking, you're good, you're set. And when you talk about the topic of eating the same every day, I wish I was more creative, but I suck at cooking, and I would rather eat cookies every meal as opposed to having about one a day, which is I do. But if you understand the science and the nutrient dense value of these things, well, I haven't had that in a minute. You just know that, all right, a bit of what you want with what you need. If you guys can, I was talking about that with another client earlier, to say, and she made a really good point. She says, doesn't do drugs, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't do anything, but chocolate is the struggle. And
remember, all food is nutrient dense. All food has nutritional value. You keep going back to like this punishment, this pain reward system.
No, but I just know that
no food is inherently bad.
Exactly.
Unless that's cyanide.
You don't have to bring up drugs. Like,
no, but this is what the client said to me. She said, I don't do any substance abuse, whatever. And she says chocolate was her one, every opportunity. So just, but also just acknowledging that that's something that makes that person happy. And I'm the same way. And I had a really tough time about last week. My friend sent me over a box of chocolates. It was meant for my birthday, and it got over here a little bit later from UK. I had no self-control, nothing. I inhaled like 10 pieces of chocolate that day, and then probably had another 8.
Hook me up with some Cadbury eggs.
Cadbury eggs, I'll find some. I think there's somewhere around here, but it was Galaxy is the real thing. And it just, long and short of it is just, I get it, because it's kind of like my addiction as well. And the only way I control it is just don't have it around the apartment. Quick and long and short of it, we went to the opening the other day, and we had some cookies and made them from Trader Joe's. There was 3 left. I said to the dog walker, help yourself. Come back, they're gone. And I was like, wait, help yourself doesn't mean finish them, does it?
Wait, time out. You said help yourself, and there's 3 Oreos?
You bake them, so they're like brownies.
Oreos?
No, they were mochi brownies with peanut butter frosting. Really good.
Okay. So I don't know the like the specifics of it, because it's like if you got like those big vein cookies.
No, they're a bit
3.
No, they're about, let's say they're about half the size of this, right?
First of all, they're gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, but you said help yourself.
You said help yourself. I asked someone else, said, does help yourself mean finish them? And they were like,
it depends. Nah. It depends. Because if you give me 3 Oreos, you tell me help yourself. Like, that's 3 Oreos, bro. Like
3 Oreos are big like this. Anyway,
So then
he liked
we
them.
gotta
He
figure
it
that
was
out. That's some
yeah, we'll figure it
science.
out. I was
Is
just
it the
asking people. I was like,
size?
"Does this mean this?" And they were like, "Nah, I don't really finish them." But anyway, they're mad good if you guys get them for Trader Joe's. But
But if
I
you
want to
want
keep it
them,
short.
keep them
But
on the low, man. Hide that thing. Don't say help yourself. That's the rule. That's the moral of this episode. Don't say help
oh,
yourself.
did I say take one? I can't remember what I said, but it's all good. They were enjoyed. That's the good thing. But yeah, I'll have to tell you about the open. That was a scene as well. But yeah, we'll keep this short, keep it real, wrap it up. I think it was good we talked about this because it isn't so black and white of meal prepping. People say, it's got to be chicken, what rice and vegetables. I had a client a long time ago say, oh, so much animal protein. Now I see things a little differently as well. And I haven't prepped animal protein in a long time, but it's whatever.
This guy.
Whoa, what happened? No, I'm just talking about like it just took me a little bit longer to just see more avenues, that's all it was. So that's because it's all I knew was to cook that kind of protein. So I just think it was really good to kind of hear your takes. And David mentioned a really good point about seasoning is something I don't do enough of, So I thought it was good that we got to cover it. So I appreciate you guys opening up. Not often. That's why it tastes as bland. And that Angel mentioned cooking for his partner doesn't really happen here because she knows my food is so bland. So, as in my partner, not Angel's partner, by the way. Just clarify.
Pause.
So we'll wrap it up, guys. Getting weird. Time to call it up.
All right, yeah, time to wrap it up.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Later.
See you.